Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Java and Journeys with Jillian. If you're new here to this channel, what's up? How are you doing? My name is Jillian. This is the weekend before Christmas, and we are out at the Wintergarden Village Farmers Market, where there are so many vendors and folks out right before the Christmas holiday, just hanging out and enjoying each other and trying some awesome foods. We're here to get some produce, as well as maybe get some paella, try some other foods, and just have a good time. It's a little bit of a brisk day here in Florida. It's around, I think, the 50s. It's going to be upper in the 60s. So a lot of folks are frigid. This is weather that I absolutely love. So I'm so happy that it has cooled down here. So join me on this journey while we walk around Wintergarden Village. This chicken pot pies. I've actually seen this vendor. This is not my first time coming to the Wintergarden Village. There's so many foods that I have not tried just yet, but a lot of them that I have, like for example, the paella is so good. So I'm definitely going to get down on that. And I may try a few other things, but I know there are a lot of people out today. It actually isn't too crazy most weekends, because this farmers market typically is on Saturdays. I want to say it's like from 8 to 1, so it's fairly early. The crowds are like this on a Saturday, but especially with this being the weekend before the holidays, there are a lot more people out. Here is the paella stand that is so good, and I am definitely looking forward to getting into that after doing a little bit of a loop around. Also, this lemonade stand is delicious. There's so many good foods to try here. There's also a farmer's market that takes place in downtown Orlando. So that one is really good. That one's on Sundays. And it runs a little bit later in the day. I can't remember the exact hours, but this one ends, I want to say, around 1. That one goes through till I think like maybe 3 o'clock. I'll have to post a link to that below if you're ever interested. That one, I think the biggest difference between this one located in Wintergarden versus the one downtown Orlando, beyond the hours, are the type of vendors. So here at the Wintergarden Village Farmers Market, you're going to find a lot of vendors that sell produce and flowers and jewelry and all sorts of other things, on top of different types of foods you can try. What makes that unique from downtown Orlando is that one is really focused on food. So if you're a foodie and you want to try different things, I think that one leans more on some really great food options. Not that this one doesn't. This one also has some great food options, but that one leans more into that and less on the produce. I found that out the hard way when I was trying to do some like pre-Thanksgiving food shopping, that there really wasn't a lot of produce that you can get at that one that you can get here. So let's keep going and see what we can get into. So we are going to try the baking nana. I'm always down for some home-baked items. And particularly, I am eyeballing the gingerbread, the dulce de leche cookies. And once we get closer up to the front, we'll take a little bit of a better look. The sugar cookies look really good. We have these s'more cookies. So all of this looks really delicious. And if you see, for my vegan and gluten-free girlies, they also have some great options here. So I'm looking forward to trying these baked goods out. Some of my shots that I'll try to capture as we are looking at different vendors, trying different foods, are going to be very tight. Not the best quality that I would want, but I do want to be respectful of the space around me because it is quite busy today. And we're just going to try to get as much as we can without getting too much in the way.
Rush rose. And then the gray is groaning gray. And then the mint one is...
Pretty.
The mint.
Pretty.
Bashful blue.
Bashful blue.
And then the pink is purring pink.
Purring pink. Mm-hmm. We were just at the stand for Crush, and I'm so excited. I tried out one of these soaps, which smells so divine. It has like watermelon juice and essential oils, and as well as this gorgeous rose loofah. Did you all peep out that loofah? And I'll show you everything that we got once we start peeling out. But I am so excited. I am such a bath girly. I love like having all my shower things, having all my bath things. You all have probably seen some of my Bath and Body Works reviews. So I am all up in the essential oil game and using different types of soaps. So let's continue moving on to see what else we can find. Y'all, the caramel dulce de leche is so fantastic. I tried it this one of my visits here in the past, and it was just so delicious. What you would think of when you think of really good dulce de leche. The only problem, I bought like a couple of jars, but I just wasn't able to get through all of it. So if I do purchase some dulce de leche, which I already have so many cookies and sweets at home, just stockpiling for the holidays. We went to the Mickey Christmas party where we came back with a slew of cookies. So there's just a lot of sweets at my house right now. So I don't know that I'm going to buy any dulce de leche this visit, but definitely one of those that I would highly recommend if you find yourselves here. We've seen a few people with some of these gorgeous orchids. The orchids are also another thing that I would check out, and they're very reasonably priced. I absolutely love having orchids. The problem is, at my house, I don't get a lot of natural sunlight. I do on my front patio on one of the sides, and these orchids are just absolutely gorgeous. But because I don't get a lot of natural light, I'd hate to purchase another orchid and not be able to keep it alive, essentially. So really unfortunate, because I think the orchids are absolutely gorgeous and definitely one that I would recommend purchasing from a farmer's market, because you tend to get them a lot more affordable at an affordable price versus at like a big retail store. Egdos is another popular vendor. I've tried them at the Orlando Farmers Market downtown. Another great one, you can tell here by the crowd, it's quite popular. And there was an egg sandwich that I wanted to try that they were like already sold out of by the time I got to the Orlando market. And I cannot recall what the sandwich was, but they do sell out very quickly. So if there's a particular egg sandwich that you want and you're into that craze, I definitely recommend trying out Egdos. They are super good. Actually going to now try some paella. I shouldn't say try, I've had their paella before. It's so good, from Paellas Madrileñas. It's so good, and I don't eat a lot of paella, so when I'm able to find a place that knows how to make it well, I try to take advantage of that. So I am going to get some paella. My mom, who's visiting me in town, is actually getting some lemonade from this stand, which their lemonade is also really good. So I'll check back in as soon as I get my food and she gets her drink. The paella that I typically get is the 5-meat paella, the paella Valenciana. I've never tried the seafood paella, or at least I don't think I have. But it, I'm sure, is also really tasty. So I ended up getting the surf and turf paella because why not get the best of both worlds? Look how good this is. And I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on this shot here, but you see like the big pans of paella that are so delicious. And typically the pans are so open, but because it's so much cooler today, of course they're trying to keep everything nice and warm. But until then, we're gonna go ahead and tuck into our surf and turf paella. So another favorite for me is the Black Brew Brothers company. They are so good. But the only caveat for me right now is that they have mostly these really delicious iced coffee variations, and I really need a hot coffee in this weather. So I am probably going to pass on Black Brew Brothers, but I want to give them a shout out. Definitely one that you should try while you're here. There are a few coffee vendors. So for the summer, I really love, or when it's really warm out, I really love going to them. when it's chillier or if I'm just in the mood for a hotter coffee, there's another vendor that I'll show you all across the way. And we are now going to hit up the produce section. There's actually a few produce stands here. So this one is one that is quite large and popular. And you can just see that the produce is plentiful. And there are so many really great options here. And even if you aren't a big vegetable person, I feel like looking at all the fresh produce here really inspires you to want to like just buy it and do something with it. Like, look at all this local kale. Just looks so delicious. And I do love kale in smoothies as well as sauteed. And then you have a lot of your apples, your fruits, all here. And further down, we have some pink pineapples here. I've tried them sliced, and the pink pineapples are very sweet. I'm actually going to take a look at my grocery list and see what produce I need for the meals that we're going to cook for Christmas Day, and check back in. So one of my favorite places to get a hot coffee here is Piccolo Coffee. And this is my alternative coffee place that I will try out if it's a very cold day or if I'm in a mood for a hot coffee, as an alternative to Black Brew Brothers. I think I am going to try either the Holiday Joy Latte or the Winter Cozy Latte because that's the total vibe right now. I'm not sure what's in those, so I'm going to ask and check that out. And it's just so funny to me when I look at all of us wrapped up. Girl, it is very cold, like for Florida standards, right? Because those of you all that are in New York are like, girl, bye. Like, it is 50 something degrees, but it's also very breezy. I love the chill that's going on right now, but it's just hilarious to see so many of us here bundled up. So I ended up going with the Winter Cozy Latte, which is so delicious. So to tell you the differences between the two, in case you're curious, the Holiday Joy Latte was described to me kind of like an almond joy. So coconut, chocolate. I can't recall if there was any vanilla in that, but that's the primary flavors in that one. Whereas the Winter Cozy Latte has more spices and vanilla. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds like the vibe that we're going for right now. It is so delicious. You taste the cinnamon in it and maybe some of the other spices they added to it, as well as that vanilla. It's not overpowering. It's not overly sweet. We have our espresso. So I am quite happy with this. So cheers. Before we head out, just showing you a few more of the vendors here on the opposite side. I really love this market, and especially on days like today where it's not so hot and it's much cooler, because it's typically so hot and humid in Florida that it can be hard to enjoy being outdoors for a prolonged period of time. But I appreciate the opportunity and taking advantage of these moments. So beyond it being crazy busy because of the upcoming Christmas holiday, I also think with the weather being like this, it just makes it easier to be outside. And this is some of the cool art that you can find here in Winter Garden. This is art by Hubert. And look how beautiful these watercolors are. And here's a few more options. And then here's some very cute mugs as well. Thank you all for joining me on my little trip to the Winter Garden farmers market. It was so much fun just hanging out. I'm going to run a couple more errands, but I wanted to showcase and show you all really quickly what this looks like here the weekend before Christmas. If you find yourself in Orlando, Florida, and you're looking for something a little bit different to do outside of Disney property, I highly recommend this. It's just a fun place to go to. It happens every Saturday. Like I said, I believe it starts at 8, runs through 1, so it's fairly early, but also check out the downtown Orlando market, which that one runs, I want to say they start around 10 and it runs till maybe like 2 or 3. They run a little bit later. I'll try to post the links, that way you can get the correct information below. But with that being said, stay caffeinated, everyone, and I will catch you on the next journey.